It's Jessica and Alyson here from REBURN, and we have our very special guest tonight. Anjali Bhimani is here with us.
Hello, hello. Yay.
Hello.
We're
Team
so,
REBURN.
we're so excited. Thank you so much for supporting REBURN and everything that you have done for the campaign. I know you and Alyson go way back.
We do. We go back all the way to college. So like what, five years ago? Five,
Kind of like last week.
Yeah, we actually just graduated.
Just graduated. Right.
It's a hard time to graduate, but we're making the best
We
of it.
pulled it off because that's, we're stubborn and strong.
Go Wildcats.
Yeah, go. I don't know why cats went like this. Cats go like that. Cat, that's a bear. I don't know what that is. A different.
We were in
animal.
the same acting class.
We sure were. And Alyson, oh my God, Alyson, I'm going to gush about Alyson a little bit because Alyson was so freaking good. And I don't think she ever knew. Do you love it when people talk about you in the third person?
This is my favorite thing.
I don't think she ever really realized how incredibly good she was. And while I am so thrilled that this is the path that you've taken, because I know how fulfilling it is for you, I just want you to know that had you taken that path, the world would also have gotten a lot of tremendous gifts from you because you were magnificent. So,
well, that's very generous of you to say, and you're making me tear up.
Oh, sure. Right.
And obviously, Anjali was very talented. It was a great environment to be creative in. I have to say, we were blessed.
Had an incredible teacher. Our teacher, Mary
did.
Petelle, her class taught me more life lessons than I can.
And how to take risks being creative.
Yeah.
And how to embrace failure and to know that like creative experimentation, you don't reach the final product immediately, that it's a process and that process is just as important as the product. And so that's something I've taken with me always. And she was so good at that, and for making you feel like you had done something. It wasn't just like, what do you have at the end? It's the whole process. And great lessons. I'm so grateful.
And a fun class. We had a good group of people.
It was a fun class. And very successful people like you.
Thanks.
It's been so fun watching your journey, because you are successful in so many different forms, and these, this is not things we were talking about in college. Everyone was going to be a theater actor, which you are, but you're also many other things.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I look back now and I think about how discouraged we were from multitasking, or from doing so many different things. And I think that was also a product of the time, not necessarily of our school in particular. I think it was very much a product of the time that like you had to focus on the theater. If you were a serious actor, you were going to
everything else was selling out, I think.
Yeah, everything else was selling out. Exactly. And if there is one giant myth that I wish could be dispelled completely from the theater world, it is that paying your bills in different ways is somehow selling out, because it's not. I don't care how you pay your bills, as long as it's ethical and legal. Ethical. We'll just leave ethical. I mean, some people are finding illegal ways to do it.
No judgment here.
No judgment. No judgment. But it puts so much pressure on you as an artist, especially a theater artist, because nobody's in theater for the money. And it puts so much pressure on you to make your living in that one way. But also, if you're not diversifying your creativity, I feel like that puts it just like squeezes the bottle of the neck of the bottle so much. There's so much more that you can be doing that can then feed each other. I used to think it was CBD, but now I realize it's just diversifying, and we do that with our investments. We do that with our life in general. We cross train if we're actually working out at the time. We do all of these things to make sure, hi COVID, we do all of these things to make sure that we're not balanced, but just like feeding all parts of our life. So why wouldn't we do that with our creativity? And now I definitely see in classes and you know, teachers and casting directors and so many people talking about feeding your art in any way you can.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, like, I can't think of a single A-lister who doesn't have other businesses or other things
Mm-hmm.
that they are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Not just for money, but because it fulfills those creative juices.
Oh yeah.
So that's just a long way around saying, yeah, I didn't stick with theater. I did for a long time because I thought that's all I could do. Like I thought that the gates were closed to other things, and there was some secret sauce that one had to have to get involved. And I learned along the way the only secret sauce is say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And
and
what was
don't.
the moment? Was there a moment that you remember, just like that light bulb went off, or was it like a?
No, it's mostly been looking back.
Mhm.
Because at there was a certain point where people started, you know, where I'd do a podcast or an interview or whatever, and I would be talking, people would ask me questions about what about this project you did, what about that project, and I started being like, wow, what a fun life. Like that's a good that's a good list of things you've done there, and a very varied list of things. And so it's probably only in the last few years that I've really realized, oh, this is why it's been fun for me. You know,
Right.
because I suited it to my mindset. I suited it to the way I like to work. I do get bored easily, and I also I I like being good at things, but I don't like being so good at things that they're second nature. I like I like being a little bit uncomfortable. I like learning. I like being a newbie
Mm-hmm.
at things. Um, I think the only aha, like there's been an aha mindset shift, which is that two mindset shifts. One is realizing that you can come at this from a place of service, and that I do, and it's so much more fun when you're there to help or give someone something rather than being like, oh, please let me have this job because I can't pay my rent. You know, it's just a completely different experience. Um, and I think that's why I got into acting in the first place, even though I couldn't put it into words until very recently, like the last few years. But also, it's just you know, forget about getting to play different people, just getting to do so many different things is so much fun. Why would you say no? If someone's going to offer me an audition to do something that I'm not entirely sure I can do, let them decide if I can't do it.
Yes.
There are plenty of people going to tell me no, so I might as well just like walk in and make a fool of myself. Worst case scenario, I have egg on my face. And eggs are delicious. So, um, yeah, it's been a real mindset shift to just be like, I didn't know I could do that. Cool. You're gonna let me do this? You're gonna let me do that? Okay, cool. I'll do my best. And so it's just a constant like, I am. It's not just humbled. I'm just constantly surprised by what people are willing to let me do.
Hard work gets you. I mean, obviously, like you were saying, you have such an incredible list of credits in what you accomplished.
Yeah.
And, I think like we talk about a lot, your video game work that you've done and, Symmetra and Overwatch and, and so many credits like that. And that's just one part of what you do, but it seems to be something that a lot of people know you for these days.
Yeah, well, and I think part of that is because games, let's be honest, games are the biggest industry that there is right now,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
It's I don't have the actual stats, but I remember reading something recently where it said that video games and gaming has made more money in the last year than like all movies and music combined, or something crazy like that. And and the gaming community in particular are such rabid, ravenous fans of the games that they play. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's because games, look, I was a gamer when I was a kid too. So, in fact, when we were in college together, Allison,
Mm-hmm.
go home from 3 hours of dance class with Billy Siegenfeld and 3 hours of dance rehearsal with Billy Siegenfeld, and I would get a Dan's dozen cookies, and I would sit the whole Dan's dozen, and I would sit in front of because I worked out a lot because I just danced 6 hours.
Yeah, no, I'm not about the cookies, about the video games.
Oh yeah,
the cookies. I believe anyone in college, sure.
They were our version of insomnia cookies. And I would sit in front of my computer and I would play D&D role-playing games. And I was like, that was my unwind. And I played Dungeons and Dragons when I was 8, started when I was 8. So I was really into gaming and computers and stuff. But there's something special about games that now movies and TV are starting to step into this interactive realm as well. But when you're playing a game, you are telling the story. You are part of telling the story.
Yeah.
So it gives the person playing it and the person connecting with that hero or that character, it gives them agency. It gives them a sense of not just like I'm watching you perform, but I get to be you. They hear our voices in their homes, and sorry to the parents, like you're stuck with my voice way more than you should be. So there's a sense of empowerment and agency, I think, that you get when you're playing games that you don't always get when you're watching the Avengers, because as glorious a human being and kind and talented and funny and easy on the eyes as Chris Hemsworth is, not all of us identify with him as like this is someone that I can be.
Right.
It fulfills it fulfills that excitement for heroes, but then getting to connect with a hero that looks like you or sounds like you or has the same life experience as you do, that is, I think that's a really powerful thing. And then getting to go in and make them do things and feel that success is a really powerful thing. So so I do think people tend to focus on the gaming work a little bit more.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, like, when you first got approached to do a game, were you surprised, like, at the trajectory of that?
Well, when I first got the gig, or when I first started auditioning for them?
When you first started auditioning for them and kind of got into that.
Because again, it was just another branch of the tree. My agent suddenly wanted to send me on voiceover auditions, and I was like, "Great! I've always wanted to do that. I didn't know I could do that." It's the story of my career. I didn't know I could. Thanks, cool. Thanks for letting me do it. And it also again came out of just saying yes before someone else could tell me no, because I just assume no, but I don't let the assumption of no keep me from trying, because the lovely thing about assuming no is there's success through lowered expectations, which really is the motto of my life. Because if you're not expecting anything to go anywhere, then everything's a win.
Yeah.
Then the fact that you did the audition is a win. And then I was absolutely blown away that one of my first gigs was with Blizzard Entertainment for Overwatch, and that's a dream come true in a million different ways. But I wasn't surprised that the trajectory went that way. It just felt like, oh, cool, new branch.
Yeah, so great. And you've won awards. You won an award in 2020.
Yeah,
I voted for you.
Thank you. It was such a special one too, because it was for the Gamers. Gamers is an organization that really supports women and non-binary gamers and streamers, and the community surrounding them and the community that they have created is so special. And I love that it came from them, because again, like, I know I sort of sound like I just kind of like stumbled into my career, and I didn't. I did work for it, but I certainly can't take full credit for everything. Obviously, everybody's helping each other, and friends are connecting, supporting each other, and all of that. And that's what the Gamers Awards are all about. It's about that community supporting each other. So that was a really special one.
You definitely didn't stumble into your career. I can vouch for that.
I mean, I did
very hard. She's good at like playing it off like, oh, it was amazing that this all happened to me. But I mean, you work really hard, Anjali.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You're right. And On the flip side of all my like do happy stuff, the fact is that I do, like many artists, live in the place of it's not enough. What you're doing is not enough. What you're
Right.
doing is not, you have to do better. You have to do more. And this is me on the hamster wheel, my hamster paws. And occasionally, like, I may live in that place in the present moment, but when I do take those moments to talk with people like you and
Mhm.
to look back or to sit in moments of looking around, and seeing show posters and seeing fan art and all of that stuff, like there is definitely a sense of, okay, you did earn your way here. You didn't do it alone. You did earn your way here. And I used to refuse to take credit for my own success. I did my second Broadway show was a show called Bombay Dreams, and when I took over for one of the leads, I distinctly remember thinking, believing, not just thinking, and continuing this narrative for years afterwards, that it was only because I fit the costume. Now,
Right.
I'm pretty sure Andrew Lloyd Webber and A.R. Rahman and all the people
Had the money to adjust the
yeah,
costume.
they could have gotten that
Yeah.
tailored. Pretty sure that that was possible. They had the
Yeah.
technology.
They have the budget for
But
that.
I was just like, same thing with Metamorphoses. Oh, it's just because Mary likes me.
She didn't like me, if that's any consolation.
Well,
So, it wasn't a given that you
you
were going to get in this show.
fair.
Even though most people I happen to know are in it, I was not in it.
Okay. Well, I won't speak to that. I won't speak to that because I don't know your relationship with Mary. She and
No. I mean, she didn't care about me. It wasn't like a bad thing. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, no.
you were
Like,
cast because you're talented, just like all of you were.
thank you. Point being, I have it has been a journey to get to taking credit for things. And honestly, what really flipped that switch for me was when I was very upset once when someone was trying to guilt my husband a long time ago. Before he was my husband, someone was trying to guilt him into thinking that they were responsible for his career. And I turned to him and I was so angry, and I was like, if they want to take credit for your entire career and for all your success, then they can take credit for every one of your fucking failures. Oops, I hope that it's okay that we cursed, otherwise bleep it out. But I was so angry about that. Like, the indignance was so high. And then I thought about it and I was like, well, I take credit for all my failures and none of my successes. So I better clean that up, because, that's not a great way to live. Um, yeah. So it has been a journey to do that. That's for sure.
I think it's a journey overall. I mean, it's certainly a journey. I was just talking about it. Negative bias is strong. We're very quick to accept our failures and what we haven't accomplished. And, it's much more difficult for me to accept a compliment, or for someone to say, oh, you did a good job at this. Like, oh, they're just saying that. Like, it's really taken me time and experience to even own the word writer, that I'm a writer, because I didn't want to seem like I was posing, which is just like, who cares if I am anyway, by the way. Like, but it's,
we all have that it's got a name, imposter syndrome, and so many of us suffer from it because there is this, and some of the greatest performers, writers, actors, business people, like, in the world, have that feeling of like, yeah, but if you really knew who I was, you wouldn't think that. But yeah, it's a strange thing. I mean, I don't know, Jessica, have you run into that in your world?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it's like I'm just sitting here like, yeah, oh wait, this is a therapy.
This is our little play. We're back again.
No, I mean, absolutely. And I was just, as you were both talking, I was thinking about just how it's been over the last few years, like the women in my life and the women who I'm working with that have really kind of broken me out of that. Because I think that you do, like, when you're working with people, like on this collaboration on REBURN, it was like, we just kind of were like, okay, let's do the next thing. And we were giving each other just that like, okay, we're doing it. Like, stay out of the results, just keep doing it. And the results were that we actually did it. And we're really
Not only did you do it, but you did it like incredibly. It's gorgeous.
And you read it.
Yes, I've read
You read it.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, I mean, we've talked about this before too. Like all of the cylinders are firing for me. I'm like, it's gonna be this, and it's gonna be this. It's gonna be a circus show. It's gonna be all like REBURN the musical. Like I've got all. It's so, you've created such a rich world. The visuals are so stunning, and the dialogue is just like concise and incisive and just right. Like I really, I'm super into it. I'm super into the world. I can't wait to see the next one. Um, uh, yeah. And you guys did that precisely because, like you said, Jess, you guys were supporting each other through it.
Yeah, and we've known each other for a long time too, Alice.
Yeah.
Hard to believe. It feels like different lifetimes, but I think that, the like-minded people find each other too. I think that's what's important is we go towards, we're all very creative people, and this is our life. I think that's the one thing about being creative. Like I am on the hamster wheel because a lot of times I can't turn it off, and I have to remind myself that self-care. I think, Alyson, you just recently posted something about that was so important. It's like we all have to find those moments to breathe so that we can recharge, so we can do it again.
Absolutely.
There's no stop.
Guys,
your light has something to say.
my light is shining a light on all of us. Shh. Easy, my pet. Be quiet. Well, my skin looks fantastic now.
I think the hamster wheel is real, though. I was having this conversation with another. It's also the freelance artist life, because you just never know when the next thing's going to happen. This feeling of nothing's ever enough. And I know people feel this way, really almost no matter what their level of success is, because, they've had so many rejections, and you're just kind of like, oh, how long is this really going to last?
Yeah.
Like, how long are people really going to like me?
Hungry for the next thing too. Like it doesn't always come from a place of desperation. I was just thinking about that. Like I still to this day have to consistently remind myself, like, for example, okay, I'll just admit this happened today. I was like, God, I haven't booked a bunch of the last few auditions I've done, like a bunch, like a good chunk of auditions that I have done, and I just don't know when the next gig is. And oh wait, it's Wednesday. The next gig is Wednesday. But you're still feeling that sense of like, but I'm not doing it. I'm not making it. And that it's like a trained muscle, but I'm also learning to use it a little bit better. As long as we're not like heaving and hoeing on the hamster wheel and about to give ourselves a heart attack, I don't mind running. I don't mind continuing to go.
Yeah, for me it was like I started writing essays, having something that I could do that was just mine, that I didn't need someone to greenlight, that I didn't need money, that I just, so that I had somewhere where I could express my thoughts that was not dependent on other people telling me it was worthwhile, because that is hard. That feeling of like, I really believe in this. Oh, you don't? Okay. And to continue to like believe in it. And I mean, acting obviously is the same way.
It's a unique kind of thing for writers too, because writing itself is generally such a solitary activity already. And then to have to present it to people, to have them decide whether you get to put it out into the world is just maddening. And now that we have the interwebs, and if quarantining around the world has proven anything, it's that there is nothing in our way to keep from putting things out there in some form. If we want to put them out there, now we really do get to decide where we want to put our creative juices and not necessarily wait. Obviously, it helps if one has some form of income coming in that is either other than that or that is in another way.
Mhm.
But even before that, just being able to make things for ourselves, um, or just for a completely different purpose, than
Yeah.
than the consumption of art, the commercial, consumption of art, I think is really special. That's why I started I Am Fun Size, which is my little web series that I do.
Right.
That was just a love letter to this online community that had been so gracious and so generous and so open with their art and their emotion and their support. And I was like, who the hell am I to, because I was wanting to do some kind of blog, vlog, whatever. I felt like I just needed something to express, but I kept saying, oh, well, it needs to be perfect. It needs to be
Mhm.
that. And I don't know how to do that. And then there was one day where, I don't know, I might have tweeted, hey, let's do Fan Art Friday. And all these people just started inundating me with all their art from all different levels and all different kinds and all different styles. And I was just so blown away by their willingness to just like give,
Mhm. Mhm.
immediately give, that
Mhm.
I thought, okay, now you press record and start. That's how this
Mhm.
goes. You turn on photo booth on your computer with this terrible computer camera. And that
Yeah.
became so fulfilling, because not only was I getting to talk through my own um my own understanding of circumstances that people were asking about, but I was also getting to give back to that community.
Mhm.
So it was a really, really a special thing, much like writing for yourself, much like,
Mhm.
people who like what I don't play piano for anyone. Like I don't even play piano when my husband's home. I only play it when I'm alone because I just want to do it myself. It's for me. It's just my thing.
I love
And I
that.
think also the importance of creating for creation's sake, like at least for me, like that was something that was definitely lost in grad school. It was all very
Yeah.
professional, goal oriented, and if it wasn't getting me something, it wasn't worth my time.
Mhm.
And that it's a muscle, right?
Yeah.
Creativity. So you want to use it and you want to, and it helps you refine your voice and what you're trying to say. And, there is a point in just continuing to create, and sometimes it's not clear what that point is, but I think that's something that I've learned over time too, that um, it feeds itself. Like the more that I make, sort of the more that I make.
Hmm.
Where if I'm sitting around thinking about making things, that's not a great place to be for me.
And
Yeah.
also, I find that it comes in waves for me too,
For sure.
because there is the pressure of trying to succeed. And then there is the pressure of, oh, I'm successful. Everything has to be a certain way for
Hmm.
it to be worth my time. And obviously, one has to decide what you say yes to and what you say no to. But also, one has to be okay with sucking at things.
Hmm.
One has to
Hmm.
be okay with being an amateur. I need to be okay with, guess what? You don't have to put this on Instagram. Guess what? You don't have to, this is
Hmm.
not going to go into an audition. This is not going to go into a performance. No one has to see this. So what do you want to do? Um, and that's kind of where I think we all started creating from, when we were kids or younger people.
Yeah.
Um, is that place of just wanting to make something, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And speaking of making something, there was something on deadline today about a show that you're working on.
Yes, yes, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Tell us a little
Um,
bit about it.
there was an announcement today that I'm going to be a recurring character on season 2 of Special on Netflix, which I'm so excited about for so many reasons. The show itself is so fantastic. If people haven't seen it, please go out and binge the first season. Ryan O'Connell created it, and Poonam Patel, who is a, just like I love her so much. I shot a pilot a few years ago, was when I first met her, and we stayed friends ever since. And then when she got on this show, I was just like, they're just all fantastic. I can't speak highly enough of any of them. Um, so I'm going to be joining the cast for season 2, which I'm really excited about, playing Poonam's mom. And joining with a bunch of other, not a bunch, but with a few other fantastic South Asian actors. Utkar Shambudkar is going to be there, Karan Soni, Ajay Mehta. And it's going to be putting the fun and dysfunctional for that family. Um, it's yeah, it's gonna be great, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really, really excited about it.
I'm excited about it.
Me, I'm excited. Me. Yeah,
I love seeing people I know on TV. I never get over the thrill of being like,
never
oh,
know,
look,
I
I know you.
am constantly doing this to my television and then texting people and being like, here you are, look, it's you. You. Like I do this all the time, and it's
Yeah, it never gets old.
no,
And
it
it's really fun when it's someone you haven't seen, like someone from college. You're like,
Yep.
oh my God, I didn't even know they were acting anymore, you know, and there they are. And like, maybe it takes you a second because it's been a while, you know, and it's like, oh, I find it really, I feel like I won something, which is like the feeling that's so.
Feeling, isn't that a great feeling? You feel like, oh my God, I'm cool enough to know that person.
Right.
I feel when I'm like, look, my friend Benz is on the Expanse. I want to be on the. That's so exciting. Like,
Oh, The Expanse. That is exciting.
oh, that show is so good. I can't even do it. The whole cast are just such lovely. I love them all. They're really awesome people. I had the joy of getting to do a few, getting to moderate a few panels for them.
Oh, cool.
Diversity panels for them and hang out with them, and they're. It's a great show. It's beautifully written. I mean, I can't. It's just everything about it is lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
agree.
So conventions are coming back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one hopes. I theoretically have a few lined up that were canceled for last year, but obviously it will depend on circumstances at the time. But
they're saying they're coming. The Comic-Con's coming back at Thanksgiving. Is what they're
San
saying.
Diego Comic-Con?
That's what I saw. Is that not true? Am I just reading rumors?
I think
I don't know. I did not see that.
I
haven't. I mean, they didn't call me, so I haven't seen. But call me if you guys. I'll be back. I'll come back for another year, guys.
We're gonna be back with a bunch of issues of REBURN, just like
totally. We'll all go down there together. That's fantastic. Yeah, no, I conventions are coming back. I think live music is going to come back. You know, I do think that we have. Well, the battle is far, far, far from over, and obviously variants are there, and we all need to get vaccinated
and wear masks.
Wear masks and distance and do all of the smart things. It is nice to know that people are seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, even if it gets pushed again. It's not. We have no idea when this is going to. And I'm very glad, especially with conventions, because the one thing I miss, I've been doing a lot of online conventions, but I really do miss that one-on-one connection with people who come there, because conventions are one of my favorite things in the world, because it's a place where anyone can go to celebrate the things they love and then be celebrated for loving the things they love.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who you are and what age, what size, what color, what gender, it doesn't matter. You just go there and it's a beautiful space. And I get to nerd out. Every time I'm there, I have to keep myself from buying all the stuff that that I see. I want to buy a bunch of I have all these Funko Pops sitting up right there. Like I want to run around and buy a bunch of things. So I'm very glad. I'm very glad to be able to get that one-on-one connection as well. I'm looking forward to that.
And there are a lot of people who have been suffering because the cons have not been happening. So it'll be nice for them to be able to. Yeah.
It's one of the reasons we can all be in the same room together.
Oh my God, that's going to
be fun.
Have some drinks.
I love it. I mean, theoretically,
waters
outside is somewhere now, but I'm waiting until that second shot.
I haven't had any shots. Well, Jessica is fully vaccinated.
Yeah. You will soon. We're
I know.
Coming close here.
I'm waiting my turn.
No, as you should. I have asthma, so I had to.
I wasn't. Yeah.
I had.
I wasn't implying you weren't. What are you doing? Why did you
no. Why did you get your shot? Yeah, I just don't talk about it a lot, but
I'm happy you have it, because people who have asthma, it really concerns me. My brother has asthma, and I was so happy when he got a shot.
I
relief.
cried when my mom got her shot.
Me too.
Knowing that your family, your parents are going to be okay is a really special thing. But I think we are all, it's all happening soon. I think a friend told me that tomorrow in New York, people over 30 are going to be able to get the vaccine, which is incredible.
I know. I've seen the friends in New York getting them.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so
we're getting there.
We're getting there. We're getting there, which means drinks are coming out soon, ladies. Put your drinking dresses on or whatever you want to wear. don't know why I called it a dream.
And come out to LA.
Yes.
Because you're not here and it'll be
I didn't know you weren't here.
challenging.
That would be challenging.
No, I will. I'll be coming. I'm out in LA.
She's a jet setter. She's never in any place for too long.
I understand that.
I'm getting a little like antsy to travel.
I bet.
Believe me. The first flight I got on in November when I had to fly for work, you know, normally I'm flying like 200,000 miles a year, and I didn't fly between March and November. And as soon as I got to the airport, I mean, you know, with like essentially wrapped in saran wrap, as soon as I got to the airport, I was like, oh my God, I feel so normal. Everything like it felt so normal. So I understand that itch to get traveling, but soon it will be safe.
She's traveled.
Of course.
She's like you though. She's used to like 200,000 miles. So.
It was
and wrapping ourselves in saran wrap.
Yeah, exactly.
We did a lot of that.
Thank you so much. This was so great. I'm glad we got to do this.
Thank you. Apologies that apparently the sun turned on from the ceiling here. I don't know what happened. Like the sun went down outside and all of a sudden the lighting in this room, like, I don't know what this skin color is. It's not one made in nature. But thank you guys. And thank you. I'm so excited about REBURN. I cannot tell you. I can't wait to pimp it out more and to share it with more people. I can't wait till we can throw copies of it at people at Comic-Con.
It's gonna be great.
We appreciate your support so much. Right, I want to say right from the beginning, enthusiastic and supportive. Like right from the first time I reached out about it, you were like, "Send it to me. I can't wait." And this was like really early on. And
well, in fairness, you have never disappointed in like since college. So if you were involved with it, I knew it wasn't going to suck. And then it even exceeded all expectations when you told me about it. So
thank you. Same goes for you.
Thank you.
Everything I've ever seen you in.
Thanks. Well, you know, auntie keeps it together. Yeah. Lots of aunties. Lots and lots of aunties.
Oh.
Thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you. This was amazing.
Yay.
Well, we'll have to do it again. Thank you.
For sure.
Take care, guys.
Okay.